Jumpers, skippers, and rope renegades, welcome to the show. It's episode 19 of the Jump Rope Podcast, and today I'm hanging out with the unstoppable Patty Reynolds, a mom, a pharmacist, and a jump rope dynamo who somehow manages to balance it all without missing a beat or a bounce. And let's not forget Artemis, her four-legged training partner, who might just be the most loyal, floofiest, and potentially most dangerous jump rope hype squad around. Patty and I have been in a few collab reels together with our jump rope crew, and every time she brings that perfect mix of skill, energy, and good vibes. In this episode, we're diving into her jump rope journey and how she fits skipping into her packed life and why movement is magic. So tighten those shoelaces, avoid the dreaded toe whip, and let's jump into it. Patty Reynolds, thank you so much for joining me on the Jump Rope Podcast. It's so great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I've looked forward to coming on for a little while, so good to be
Well,
here.
you've been mentioned on the podcast several times from Becky and Eddie Jumps. And so it's a pleasure to get to talk to you. And, you know, I didn't look to see how long we've been connected, but it's been months that I've paid attention to your stuff. I love your videos with your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget your dog's
name. Yes, Artemis.
Artemis.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a great name. She is gorgeous. Is she a German Shepherd?
Yeah, she's a full-blooded German Shepherd. She is 3. She's 3. She's almost 4. She'll be 4 in March. But yeah, if I'm outside, she has to be. And she gets really excited when I start putting my shoes on and get my jump ropes ready. And she's like, oh, are we going? Is it time? We're going now?
She knows what that means.
So, jump rope time is her time for sure.
Yeah. I've commented on a few of your videos. I think that she looks like she's protective of Mama. Like she looks like she could take anyone out who crosses Mama.
Oh yeah, and actually it's worse with my kids than me. But yes, when we're out there, she's patrolling, and I jump in my driveway, so she's patrolling my front yard and everything, watching everybody. But she's really good because she's trained, so she'll stay. She won't go anywhere.
Oh really? Did you do a training program with her?
Yeah, we did. She was not even a year. I think she was like 7 or 8 months, maybe younger than that. I don't remember exactly, but we went through like a whole 3-month program with her.
Wow.
Yeah, and I may have those dates wrong, but I know my trainer's probably watching going, no, right.
Right.
Yeah, no, but she went through a whole program and kind of graduated and gets, we can do like follow-ups and stuff. So we did it at a young age, very, very young age. So
that's cool. I love that she's into your jump rope and that she watches like for the cues that you're going out and jumping. My dog does the same thing, but her reaction is a lot different than your dog. Like, I started jumping inside downstairs and Zuzu, my dog, she's hilarious. She will spend so much time at the bottom of the stairs during the day, like yelling for me to come, carry her up the stairs.
Yeah.
She can totally go up the stairs, but she just whines, she wants daddy to come pick her up and take her up the stairs. Until it looks like I'm in a jump rope. So as soon as I get in my clown costume or I grab a jump rope, she's like, hell with this, I'm upstairs. And she goes upstairs and then gets under the bed as if it's like, there's going to be fallout.
Yeah.
But,
well, Artemis does. She keeps her distance because she knows the rope will hit her and it hurts. Oh. I think I actually hit her yesterday. So she just kind of backs up. But I have a reel coming on Valentine's Day, and she'll be in that reel, so it'll be cute to see her. So
nice, that's great.
I included her in my jump.
So, can you tell us where you're located?
Yeah, so I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina,
basically outside of Charlotte.
Outside of Charlotte, okay. You said you've been there your whole life. I think before we started.
Yep, been here my whole life. Born in Charlotte, grew up here. I did go to school in Massachusetts for 3 years. So I was in pharmacy school there. Yeah. Did not enjoy the snow or the cold.
Yeah.
And I'm really short. I'm only 5 feet tall. So there was always jokes the whole time I was there about the snow being like over 5 feet. And I'm like, well, guess I'm staying in because I can't. Not going outside.
You have to wear a tall hat so that it shows above the snow.
Above the snow, yeah. No,
I know
it was
in
fun.
Minnesota they put flags on all of the fire hydrants, so that they can find them when it snows. Really, you just need a little like bicycle flag hanging out of the back.
Yeah, we do not get much snow here. We had one snow day, and when it snows, like the teeniest bit, we're done. Everybody's closed out. But it's really the ice because it's like hot, cold, and the temperature changes. Yeah. So little teeny tiny bit, and we're done. Everyone's staying home.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, yeah.
So, and so you mentioned pharmacy school. I was going to ask, what
hmm
is your profession? Are you a
Yeah.
pharmacist?
Yep. I'm a pharmacist. So, a large chain retail pharmacist. Um, I've been in pharmacy for, let's see, well, I've been with the company I'm with for like 18 years, but I've been
Oh,
in
wow.
pharmacy about 21, I want to say. Yeah,
Okay.
21 years. Yeah.
Do you enjoy that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. I love it. I love, what I do. I love people. And, I didn't really want to go the doctor route just because
Right.
I know how demanding the hours are and the
Yeah.
residency. I didn't want to do residency.
Yeah.
And, I did my undergrad first and then decided to do pharmacy. So by the time I finished, I did an entire 10-year span.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, to do hospital pharmacy, you have to do residency. And I was like, no, I'm done.
Okay.
No, no more school. So
You've mentioned to me that you work like 12-hour shifts. Is that normal for you?
yeah, pretty much most retail pharmacies do 12-hour shifts. Now, busier stores are going to have overlap. So two pharmacists in a day, but and they may be open like 14-hour days. So you're going to do maybe 8-hour shifts, but for the
Oh,
most part, most of us work 11 to 12.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the time, if you go in the morning and you drop off your prescription and then you pick it up at night, it's the same person. Been there
Okay.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I see you had mentioned your 12-hour shifts, and I had wondered,
hmm
is she like a police officer or a
Yeah.
nurse or whatever, but
Yeah.
closer to a nurse, but
Yep. Yeah.
interesting.
You
So,
get used to it.
yeah. So do you do like 4 12-hour days in a week or?
No, it fluctuates. Like one, because I work every other weekend. But like I'm
Oh,
like
okay.
starting tomorrow, I do like a 4-day stretch, which the weekends are not 12 hours, but any day during the week pretty much is. But
Okay.
so it just depends. It's like one week is like 5 days, and I do eight days every 2 weeks. So it's like five and
Okay.
three basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
hmm
So when did you start jumping?
So well, technically I started trying it out. I don't know if you know Tamika Skips
Yeah,
underscore
I
Tamika
love
Skips. I
her.
think it's her. Yeah.
Love Tamika.
So yes, yeah, she's amazing. So I'm in like a fitness group, which is kind of how I started with like the working out. I started with doing like YouTube videos. I did Grow with Joe, cardio videos, like walking, kind of lose weight because I have 3 kids. So at the end of the third, I pretty much was pregnant for 6 years, pregnant
Oh
or
my gosh.
nursing for 6 years. So I never could really lose weight. So finally, after my third, I was like, okay, I'm done. I started working out, and Tamika was in the group that I started in, like back
Okay.
then. This would have been she was born in she was 2020, so it would have been like 2021, 2022,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So we started working out. So Tamika jump rope back then, like on and off, like not as much as she does now, but um, I was like, oh, I want to do that. Looks really cool. I want to try, but I was so bad, like so bad. I couldn't do the basic. I could barely do the basic bounce, and
Mhm.
don't even talk about any tricks.
Right,
Nothing.
right.
Tried. No, and that's why I would jump one day and then I'd go. And basically, I was just jumping and counting my skips.
Uh-huh.
Um, and trying to get like so many. I had like one of those wire ropes that count your skips.
Yeah.
I don't know how accurate they are, but that's basically what I used. And I would just go to the park or in my house or whatever and just
Uh-huh.
jump. And it was so bad, so bad. So then,
Were you trying to get like 100 skips a day, or did you have a goal?
no, I didn't really have a goal. I just kind of just jumped to see what I could do. I
Okay.
think Tamika was doing like 1,000 skips a day or something crazy. I was trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I think I was like doing like, I would do like 500, but literally dying,
Yeah.
so it didn't really catch on. But I was working out, doing the YouTube videos. And I know I mentioned I have kids, so I'd have to, and a 12-hour shift working, I had to do my schedule around that.
Yeah.
So I would, and I can't go to the gym. Like Eddie Jumps is my trainer, and he would ask me like, "Why do you not go to the gym?" And I'm like, "Cause I can't physically can't leave my house. If
Yeah.
I'm like usually my husband, before he would be gone, so I couldn't leave. But just the amount of time it takes to get in the car, go to the gym, or do anything. I just don't have it if I'm working. I have to be at work at 9 o'clock. My kids get up for school. So, started doing that. I would jump like literally once every month. I'm like, oh, I'll try it again. Oh, I'll try it again. Didn't work.
Okay.
And then finally, what was it? So basically, Eddie started the 14-day. He did like a 14-day program back in November of 23. So
Okay.
that's when I started more consistently jumping rope. I was doing strength training videos, so I basically evolved from just cardio to, I got bored with that. So then I moved on to doing strength training and did that. So I have, weights and all of that I like purchased like one set of weights every like couple months because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I can't go to the gym, got to figure it out. And joined his program. Becky was there, and Tamika was there, and then there's a bunch of people that were in that group that are in a lot of our groups that we're in now. But I did the 14-day and just fell in love with it, completely fell in love with it. I was like, you know what? This is so cool. So I basically kept doing my weight training 5 days a week and then added jump rope in.
Okay.
To that and tried to do jump rope and like on my rest days. I wasn't doing a lot. I wasn't doing a ton of just the basic 14-day program that Eddie did was just boxer skips, basic bounce, some side swings, crossover, basically just your simple basic ones. So I just stuck with that. But exactly. When that was over though, I was completely lost, to be completely honest. It was done and I was like, crap, what am I gonna do now? So, so that's how I started. But after that is when I decided to join Eddie, do his program. So he has the Eddie Jump Tricks and Skills program that I did.
Okay. And was that like ongoing coaching, or is that more like an online program that you just kind of followed along with?
So it was really cool because it's an online program, and basically it's a program that Eddie's put together in 10 or 11 videos.
Okay.
So basically you can do it at any point in time. He probably talked about this whenever he did his thing, but basically I could watch it and like the first episode was, whatever side things. I can't remember what it was, but and then you do that. And then basically he would be available to you like on Instagram or Facebook for online coaching. So you would send a video, or you could post it and tag him in it, and then he would comment, basically just give you feedback.
Right.
But what happened was he basically made a group with me and Becky and one other girl who doesn't do much jumping now. But so the four of us were in a group. So anytime we did any video, we kind of would keep track of where everybody was. And me and Becky basically were at the same pace. We pretty much did the episode about the same time. So we posted it, and he would just give you feedback. Say, hey, try this, do this. That's a little, you need to slow it down. Be patient. He'd always say be patient because we're always trying to rush everything.
Yeah. I know how that feels.
Yeah. So it was just his program, but he was always available for feedback. So basically throughout the entire program, however long it took you, I mean, I guess it could take somebody forever if you wanted to. It took me, I bought his program in January and then started basically January 1st. And I finished the last one like the end of April or middle of April. So about basically.
And you said this is 10 videos?
Yeah, 10 like an episode, basically 10 or 11. And then each episode has a different skill that you're going to learn.
Okay.
And then he'll do some of them, he'll put different ones together to do combos. And then he would give us things to do outside of the videos. So well worth it, honestly. Eddie's the best. Really is the best.
He's such a cool guy.
Yes. Yeah. And he's so patient with you. And then I would be like, Eddie, I cannot figure this out. He's like, well, send me a video. He would slow the video down or take a screenshot. And he's like, this is where your hands are. Do you see that? He's like, that's wrong.
That's amazing.
Like, do it this way. So I was like, oh, because I was worried about that. Because he does coaching in his gym. And I was worried. I'm like, how is that going to work? But no, he's there. Like,
and he's in the Manchester, UK, and you're in North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it works really well, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
I've had that happen with my coach too, where I send a video and he's like, "Yeah, your hands are out too far. That's why you keep tripping,"
Right.
or
Yeah. I
something.
remember I just posted my mic release progress, and I went back watching those videos was super super crazy to see what I was doing back then,
Uh-huh.
and that's how I figured out when, because I had to look up to see when I did that,
And
and I went back in our chat to find the videos, and there was one comment. He was like, "No, no, 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 your hands are completely wrong."
yeah,
I was like, "I'm not, Eddie. I can't get this." And he's like, "No, you're not doing that right." And then Becky would be in the chat, and she'd be trying to be all nice. That's fine.
uh,
Like, I think you're just doing this. And he's like, "No, it's wrong.
yeah,
Try again."
yeah.
But yeah,
That's great. So, do you still work with Eddie?
yeah. So I haven't done any more classes with him yet, but
Mhm.
he's always there.
Mhm.
Just telling me like, "Hey, this looks really good. You're doing really good with that." Or if I do something that he taught me, I'll send it to him and say, look at this, I did this."
Yeah,
So he's still there, just
yeah,
commenting, not as much obviously because I'm not actively in the program, but um, he's always commenting
yeah,
or giving me feedback on different things. So
yeah. I know you and I are in an Instagram group that includes Becky
hmm
and some other people, and I had said, "Hey, I'm going to interview Eddie. Anybody have questions?" And it was great. Like,
yeah,
when's he going to have an intermediate program, and when is
yep,
he going to have pink
yeah,
jump ropes? And as soon as I
right,
said pink jump ropes, he's like, "Becky." It's
yep,
like, "Yep,
yeah,
she's a
I
pink
know,
and purple girl."
yep, yeah, she's pink and purple. The he posted his pink PVC, and I literally messaged her and I was like, Becky, he's got pink PVC. I was like, we have to force him to do a pink beaded breast.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious, since you brought up beaded ropes, like, are you a beaded? Is that your rope of choice?
Yeah.
Is a beaded rope?
Yes. Rope of choice is beaded. I started out with a super cheap Amazon rope, and that's
Okay.
what I was using. And then I got an Eddie Jump Classic beaded, basically. And it's heavier. I think Becky mentioned that.
Yeah.
Um,
Does it use a little heavier cable in there?
Yes, the cable is a little bit heavier. And I've actually got another, after that, I bought another one that's just his blue. I've been using that a lot lately because I think it's called True Blue. It's actually a little bit lighter. So I looked at both the cords. His classic is slightly thicker.
Okay.
And so it's not you know, not a heavy rope. It's not
Right.
weighted rope at all, but it just has that weight to it. And I can
Yeah.
do certain things with that I'll start with one rope and I'm like, no, I need to do like if I'm doing something with my mic releases, I've been practicing like a lot, like all of January. That's basically all I
Uh,
did with mic releases. But when I was doing like a 360, it was easier with a little bit lighter rope. But if I was doing
oh.
something else, easier with a little bit heavier rope. So I
Uh-huh.
would like take them both outside with me. But yeah, PVC. I do have a PVC. Again, I had a super cheap Amazon PVC, and I gave it to my son who also likes to jump rope. But I ended up buying Eddie's white PVC, like his just plain PVC, and it's super nice. It's obviously when it's colder outside, like it is now. I'm trying not
Yeah.
to use it as much,
Yeah.
but double unders, things like that. I cannot do a mic with it. Eventually, I'll be able to, but the
Yeah.
light is super, super light, and I'm like, no, can't do
Yeah.
it.
Is it like a 5 mil or 4 mil PVC?
I think it's
Or
a
do you know?
5. I believe it's a
Yeah.
5 millimeter. Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
pretty standard. But
hmm
yeah, I mentioned on a prior podcast I bought a 6 mil from Europe, and
Yeah,
and it's got just a little more heft to it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
closer to a beaded rope, so I can make release with it every once in a while, and
yeah,
land it.
yeah,
Whereas beaded,
yeah,
I'm better. I think beaded, it just that extra weight gives more feedback, which
yeah.
is
It
helpful
does.
to
It
me.
really does. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you have the mirror weight rope,
I
and
do have
you guys talked about
mirrors weight.
that, which makes me super nervous because I'm always whacking myself. I don't know how you guys do the mic release with that because I feel like I would probably like literally have bruises all over my face.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get bruises on my face from those plastic handles because I'm going so
I know.
fast, and then I try it.
Yeah.
But I have done that with Mira's rope, and since it's cold in Minnesota now, I've been jumping rope indoors more and actually enjoying it. At first I was like, God, I have to jump indoors, but
yeah. You
I
have a
sort of
nice
realized,
space though.
yeah, it is nice.
Yeah,
I'm fortunate,
yeah,
but yeah, I just had a little epiphany one day. Like you're getting so frustrated about jumping indoors, but you jump on these stupid little limestone benches that are 18 inches wide by 4 feet, like. And that's way more confining. And I realized, oh yeah, actually the confinement brings out different moves, right? Like you have to adjust. So
yep,
I've been enjoying it, but there have been a few times in the last few weeks where I've broken out Mira's rope and jumping just fine. But I have this chandelier, which thank God is very sturdy. It's like, I don't know, like chip glass, a really big, thick thing. But I have rung that bell so many times with different ropes. And I just know if I were to hit it with that lumber handle from Mira's rope,
oh my
it
gosh,
wouldn't be great.
it'd be
But
done. No,
yeah,
it'd be
I
done.
did put on gloves and practice the mick release with it though. And I was able to catch some. It's just, I think it is probably a good 30 or 40% heavier than the other beaded ropes that I have, which are already, I prefer heavy beaded ropes to begin with, like Eddie's. But
but
yeah, that extra weight just gives more feedback and feels like it's easier to figure out where the rope is and land basic tricks. And then once I get that motion down, once I get that muscle memory, sort of not dumbing down, but stepping down to a normal beaded rope, then I'm more likely to land the trick,
Yeah, yeah. I had no idea. I had no idea even that there was a difference. Because like I said, that Amazon rope is all I had, and I'm like, okay, this is all there is. And then I got Eddie's, and I'm like, oh wow, this is super, super heavy. So I had no clue there were so many differences and so many different ropes.
Yeah, I'm self-confessed compulsive about ropes. I have way too many.
Yeah, I heard that you make your own. That's super, super cool. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I've done that and then I've bought a whole bunch as well.
yeah,
But yeah, I have noticed that it's not just the cable, it's the way that the cable is, sort of like the stopper that keeps it from going through the handle. There's several different types of those, and some of them tend to stick a little more or whatever. And so there's all these little factors, but it is amazing what having like a pro level jump rope can do for you, right? Like when I went from that little speed rope that I got on Amazon, which was not terrible, it had bearings, but the cable was probably like 3 mil or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the one I think I mentioned on an early episode of the podcast where I jumped out in the driveway with it so many times that I wore away all the plastic so that it was like sparking on the pavement.
Yeah.
Because it has an actual wire in there.
Yeah. I think that counting one, I think like I was saying, I think that's a wire. I think, but I never jumped outside.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was jumping inside only. I was like, no, it's too, because I was in November. It was like winter. I was like, I'm not jumping outside. And now I'm like, I cannot stand jumping inside now. I'm too used to it now.
Jumping outside is so fun. Like just being able to have the freedom to move around more and not worry about destroying your chandeliers.
Oh yeah. When I started jumping, I have an entryway in my house, the front door, and then this little carpet, and I would put like a mat down. And so my table's like right here, and then a wall is right here.
Yeah.
And I just had this little sliver of space, and I put my camera up, and literally put I had like a chair. I put my camera, my phone on the chair and record. And now I look back and I'm like, no wonder I couldn't do anything. Like I had literally no. I learned a 360 there. I have no idea how I did that, but it was the only space in my house that didn't have a light, like you said.
Yeah.
So, like smack in the wall, and my kids were always be at the sitting physically at the table.
So I'm curious, Patty, how would you describe your style or the things that you enjoy most in jump rope?
Yeah, so I definitely enjoy the tricks the most, I would say. Footwork is, I'm okay. I can do certain things. Tried doing Kathy jumps put in lots of those like footwork. And then she's like, okay, now add the arms. And then for some reason, I have the hardest time in my brain, like doing them all at the same time. I don't know.
Sure.
So I basically, even boxer skip, I've been working on it more. Like January, I started working on it more. Even just the boxer skip, for whatever reason, I have the hardest time. So this year, my plan for the year is to try to do more. I can do them, but I can't do them and do a trick at the same time. So I'm trying now, like I just practiced, I'm in a group, it's a Saturday song group. And so you learn a trick and you do that trick to a song. Well,
Okay.
some people will choose like footwork. Some people will choose just a regular trick. And some people will choose both. And we have both coming up on Saturday. And it literally, like, my brain was like, okay, I can't put them together.
Yeah.
Definitely the trick. I'll basically figure out, when I'm going to go jump, say, okay, I'm going to work on this or try to, do this with this or like a little mini combo. I try to put a couple of things together if I can, but I try to focus on one thing at a time if I can. I've never gone this long. Like I'm done with the mic releases. It's actually been interesting to stick with something and do something with other tricks together repeatedly.
So when you say you haven't gone this long, like you've been concentrating on mic releases or mic releases for such a long...
Mic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, It looks like like a mic drop,
I know.
right?
I know, exactly.
But when I had several of the guys on, or I think it was the end of last year podcast where I had multiple people on, Richard was saying Mike, and somebody in the comments was like, don't say Mike, you're confusing all the newbies.
I know. Yeah. And then I think did Aaron say like he called it Mike like on purpose? I think it's what he said. Yeah. I don't remember.
Likes to be contrary. Yeah. He's 6'7", so you got to let him do it.
I know.
Right?
I know. But so yeah, like usually when I learn a trick or something, I'll do it. Like let's say EB swings or whatever. I'll do it and then okay, I'm done. Next, move on to the next thing. And so usually like each session, I'll just move on. I'll go back to it and do it again, or try to incorporate like basically all of January, and then still now I've been doing the mic releases and every session I've been doing mic releases, and I've never gone this many sessions doing the same thing. And I'm not just doing that. I'm doing that and then doing that in a 360. And I'm like, how many different variations can I do? And that's what I've basically been doing. Can I do a mic with a 360? Can I do a mic in an EB?
Okay.
But, so that's kind of what I've been doing now.
So when you say you're working on mic releases, you're not just working on one side, you're working on trying both sides or different types of mic releases?
So for the most part, I've just been doing my dominant side. One side. I just posted a video last week doing the other side, but I've only done that one day. I haven't tried it again since then. Well, I did try it today technically, but I haven't done a ton with it. I want to get that moved down before I start adding it in. But no, just basically doing the mic, and then like one day maybe I'm just going to doing the mic release with toe catches or whatever. Yeah. Or maybe I'm going to do it with just jumping and see how many I can do in a row. Or maybe I'm going to do like I did mix and 360s. I did the mix and the swing EB to just like two tricks together, or like maybe even like how many tricks can I do with a mix together? That's kind of what I did last week. Cool. So just kind of doing it. It kind of helps me practice the mix since I'm doing it each time. But then it helps me practice the other skills too, since I'm doing them together. Yeah. But what happened was I sprained my ankle back in September, like the 1st of September. And before my ankle sprain, I could do the mic. I could do the mic and I could jump in. It was no problem. I did the wrist pop method. Okay. And then I stopped jumping. Basically, I took the whole time off. I didn't do weight training. I didn't do jump rope or anything for like it was like 4 weeks straight. And then slowly went back into it. And then when I went back and tried to do a mic again, I couldn't do it. And I was so frustrated. I don't know. I think it's like honestly, mic releases, if you don't do them on not every single time, but if you don't do, maybe once a week or, whatever it is, it goes away. Like the memory, like the muscle memory of doing it, I feel like just left me. And, yeah, I've heard people say like when you do mic releases, like practice them every day, 5 minutes. I think Kathy Johnson said that before. Like practice them 5 minutes every day. But I don't know, I lost it. And like my hands couldn't do it. I could not jump it at all, could not jump the rope. And then I was so frustrated. And I even told Eddie, I'm like, I can't, I'm having to relearn. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. I don't know. So I started looking into the tissue box. So then I was able to do the tissue box. I'm like, okay, that's good. And then, I could jump the tissue box. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll do that route. So I still have trouble jumping the wrist pop. I don't know why, but I can jump the tissue box. So I'm just rolling with that at this point. And I can do
Interesting.
I can do the wrist pop in a toe catch. But for some reason, I lost it. I don't know, just not doing any jump rope, I guess. And I was
Yeah.
slow to do a lot of things like the EBs. I was pretty good at them. I could do a swing into an EB. I mean,
Uh-huh.
a cross into an EB, swing cross,
Okay.
swing EB, basically.
Uh-huh.
And like still having trouble with that. So there's
Interesting.
certain things that I didn't practice for so long that my
Yeah.
brain's like, no,
Yeah.
not right now.
So I'm sure most people who are listening to this understand, but for people who might be new to jump rope and don't understand tissue
Oh
box
yeah.
versus wrist pop, could you explain that?
Yeah. So the wrist pop, basically, when you're doing your rope, your handle pops off of your wrist. So when you're putting it on, well, I'm doing it this way. So I'm putting my handle here, and I'm popping my handle to do the rotation on the
So
tissue
you're
box.
using the impact with your wrist and letting
Yep.
go to kind of
Yeah,
propel the rope in a circle.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And for me, I've noticed I've watched myself do both. I keep the rotations lower, like more like on my hip level.
Hip level. Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, when I'm doing a tissue, so tissue box is basically same thing. You're spinning, but you throw the rope. How I do
Right.
it here. You like throw it, and as you throw it, then you're gonna do it.
Right.
Kathy jumped. I figured that part out. Like she tucks it under instead of just throw. A lot of people just throw the rope and then they're rotating, but she like tucks the rope under, and that helped me out a lot to do it that way. There was a video.
So with her
How she did.
throwing hand, she's tucking under and then like
Yeah, she's kind of like
flinging it.
tucking it, flinging it, but kind of behind her, honestly. Like she's starting that first rotation. She's starting it by instead of throwing it up, she's starting it and throwing it under this way, and then it's gonna rotate.
Interesting.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have tried both methods, and I think I'm a tissue box guy, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder if some of it is not what you meant, is what you mentioned, basically, like the wrist pop. I'm trying to keep my hands down by my, hips, and then
Yep.
when
Yeah.
I pop the wrist, my hands are naturally down there. But with the tissue box method, I have to throw with or throw with one hand, and
Yeah.
tend to throw a little bit higher. And
Higher.
recently,
Yeah.
a few people that I've watched, or a few coaches that I've watched, including Coach Gotti, who is my coach, he talks about throwing it higher and even being
Yeah.
able to catch it a little higher. And he does it very smoothly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you've probably heard some of the recent episodes where we've talked about single mix versus double mix.
Yeah. I
And I
heard.
think referring to like how many times you rotate the rope before you catch it. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you mentioned being able to like jump it, is that a single mic or a double mic, or does it matter
Single.
for you? Single?
No, I cannot do a double. I think Jenny talked about it on hers,
Yeah.
and she said that, and I was like, wait, what? I honestly had no idea that there was a double, and so
Yeah.
I'm just doing a single, and then so when I rotate, come back to the pocket method, and then jump the rope. So basically,
Okay.
like continuously jumping, mix, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the difference would be like me jumping the rope after doing the mic release, or me doing a mic release into a toe catch. So I'm not jumping the rope.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I tried it the other day and I was like, oh no. I think you have to come up high. I think you have to do one
The
rotation
double?
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, the double. Yeah.
The tips that I've heard from a few coaches recently are like, if you start your rotation down closer to your hip or your stomach level,
Yeah.
then do your first rotation there and then lift up and do your second
Go up.
rotation higher, because
Yeah.
then it positions the catching handle closer to your waist height,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if you are
Yeah.
doing that pocket method of returning your hand down by your waist, you're more likely to catch it.
Yeah.
But then I think on one of the recent podcasts, talking to like Richard Head and Sean, they were talking about releasing higher and catching higher in order to be able to have time to jump it, which makes sense to
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
good at catching and jumping at the same time.
Right. So when I learned because like I said, Eddie jumps basically is how I learned my mic release. He is super like strict, I would say, on the mic release because that's one of his probably his favorite moves that he does. But he's a very much like pocket, like bring that hand back because anytime I would send him a video, he's like, nope, your hand's not back, and I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean by bring it back. So I guess
And you're
that's
talking
probably
about the
why.
catching hand, right?
Yeah, the catching hand. No, yeah, well, both, honestly. If you notice when after he does his rotation, this hand rotation is coming back to this pocket
Mhm.
also.
Yep.
So yeah, both. Like basically you're just leaving this hand over here. It's either gonna catch it or it's not. I think
Mhm.
I posted a video of me trying the other side, and if you see me, I'm physically like doing
Trying to
this,
grab it out of the air. Yeah.
grabbing. And I caught it. I was like, ooh, I got it. But I was like, I'm literally like this. It's like
That's great.
way over here in the
Yeah.
air somewhere, flying around. I'm just like, boop.
Yeah. There's some people that I follow, like, Aaron Jubbs. He
Yeah.
tends to release really high and catch really
He
high.
does. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He actually helped me a little bit because, he helps everybody, but he
Yeah, he
helped me
does.
because I had told him, I'm like, I can't do the mic anymore. And he's like, well, send me a video. Let me see. And then he sent it and he was telling me, he's like, try doing it higher. That was before I had decided to try the tissue box. And so I'm like, oh, because my tissue box, it does go up higher.
Mhm.
So that's where I figured out, okay, let me try that and do a little
Yeah.
bit higher. Yeah.
I ran across a video by Nate KG,
Yeah.
Coach Nate,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was talking about like returning to pocket basically and the importance of that. And in his analysis, forgive me if I misstate you, Nate, if you ever hear this, but he was saying that a lot of people don't or have trouble catching because they don't return their spinning hand to the pocket area, and
To the pocket. Yeah.
that returning of the pocket sort of snaps this end of the rope back to where your hand should be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I think it
I
makes
saw
that
that, and then I tried
loop
it out
again.
and like hit like 3 in a row. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the thing I've been doing wrong. And now when I video myself and I go back and watch, when I mess up, it's because my spinning hand, like I spin and
Still
then
at the
I'm
top.
off in la la land.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It makes sense if you think about it, because if you're bringing your spinning hand back to your pocket while this
Mhm.
hand is catching at your pocket, you're getting your hands back in that
Alignment.
regular loop, the
Right.
alignment, so then you can actually jump the rope in your regular rotation.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, and I think I think he took some classes from Nate, so it makes sense because they're both very
Yeah.
similar if you look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just talked to Eddie the other day and he mentioned Nate
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
getting advice from Nate on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've tried watching Nate's videos and I love it because he does the slow motion videos, but
Yeah.
he is so like everything is so perfectly straight in line. It like freaks me out because I'm always like my arms way out. Like I did something this morning and my arms were way, and I always think in my head, I'm like, Eddie would yell at me right now if he,
Yeah.
saw my arms. And so
Yeah.
I watch it and I'm just like watching his EBs when he jumps the rope. And I'm like, I don't understand how your rope is right next to your body. And then
Yeah.
he doesn't even move. Like his body just stays in one spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like flinging my rope all around everywhere.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And
So he
I
intimidates me just a little
I want to
bit.
be clean like that too. And so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sure it takes time. He's been jumping rope, I think, forever. I think is
Yeah.
what I was. So, but no,
Yeah.
eventually, because just I mean, I've brought my arms in a lot over the last
Mhm.
year, but everyone, I watched my video. I'm like, oh, they're back out again. But some moves, because my rope is a lot shorter now than it was. I shortened it, and some moves I can't do unless I pull them out just a little bit. Gotta pull them
Yeah.
out a little bit more. Yeah.
How do you size your ropes?
So, but I just basically try them out, and then so I'm just bringing my handles up, and I think my handles are like up to here, like
Like
I
bottom of
think
your
they're up to
chest,
here.
kind of?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
but
And
basically
when you do that, are your handles straight up like this or
straight up, yeah.
perpendicular?
So I
Okay.
guess down they're probably like here,
Okay.
but I basically though I'll pull some beads off and size it, and I'll go jump and just
Uh-huh.
see what I can do. And then I always keep length on the end just in case. Even my
Yeah.
PVC, I have length on the end because I'm always afraid. Because those PVCs, once you cut them, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no going back. So
Right.
yeah, I just jump it. But I shortened it like probably a month ago or so, and I did like the best run of crosses I've ever done. I'm so bad. Crosses are my like worst probably, which is super
Right.
crazy because it seems like the most simple trick. Yeah, for whatever reason, like I cannot.
Yeah.
It's arm. I know it's hand placement. Like I know when I'm jumping it, my brain's like, nope, let's do something else. But I did like the best run ever, and I'm like, ooh, I'm keeping the rope this length. I can do
Yeah. Yeah.
crosses with this rope.
So do you size each new rope independently, or like if you get a new rope, are you going to take it to your favorite rope that is sized that works well for you and then just kind of make it that length?
Yeah, once I figured out the size of my classic beaded that I have,
Yeah.
when I got a new one, because I only use the two, I only really have the two, and then that old Amazon one, but I
Okay.
sized it so they're the same size beads, so I just matched the beads up and then sized it that way. Yeah.
I do the same thing. I know exactly what my length is, and
Mhm. Yep.
it makes
Yeah.
it so much easier. And it took me a while, though. I mean, I think I sized, I don't know, 10 jump ropes independently before I thought, wait, dummy,
Yeah.
you're making these ropes with 2-inch beads. Count the beads. All right, you got
Yeah.
42 beads. It's 84 inches.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
it easy, but
It took me forever. Yeah. To
yeah,
figure out.
yeah. I'm curious to hear your experiences with the jump rope community. Like when,
Oh yeah.
obviously, you know Becky and you met
Mhm.
Eddie or whatever, but what was your first exposure to the jump rope community and how has it affected your relationship with jumping of rope?
Oh my gosh. So it's funny because I told you I started jumping basically with Tamika every once in a
Mhm.
while jumping. Well, I think it was I asked her, I'm like, hey, how did you what do you do? Do you watch videos? Do you
Uh,
follow someone, like one person who you
mhm.
follow? And I think it was probably funny to her because I asked her, I'm like, hey, who do you follow? She's like, I can't really tell you. Like, there's so many people. Because I'm sure at that point she was already like into the jump rope. And I didn't even know there was a community per se, like of these people. And it was
Right.
me and Becky. So basically I knew her.
Uh-huh.
And then back then I only had my personal Instagram page. So I didn't even have, and Becky was on my personal page, and Tamika was on my personal page, and Eddie, and that was literally it.
Yeah.
And so then I made basically what happened was I talked to Becky and Eddie, and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna make a public page because I don't want my kids on public, on Instagram publicly. And I said, I
Uh-huh.
think I'm gonna make a page because anytime, like, if Eddie shares something, nobody can see it because my page was private.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, let me see how that goes. So I made an Instagram and basically downloaded all my jump videos from November 23 until then. I don't
Okay.
even remember when I made the page. I have no idea. It's probably like it's not been that long. Probably whenever we started talking, so a few months, like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably at my year mark, I would say. So maybe it was like October, November.
Okay.
Um, and so I made that, and then just literally, I was flabbergasted at how many people I just started following. And I'm like, oh my God, Kathy jumped, to me, like I was basically looked at Tanika's friends. Like, who are you friends with? Because
Yeah.
whoever you're friends with, I'm going to add those people. And so that's what happened. And then, just started, Becky put me in our group, um, the chat that you were talking about. So I added all
Uh-huh.
those people, and that's just how it started. Every person that I saw or that commented on somebody's page, like, ooh, I want to see what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized there were tutorials. I had no idea there were tutorials out there that you could
Yeah.
watch. And so just completely amazed. I'm still amazed, honestly, how
Yeah.
nice everybody is and how
Yeah.
supportive and they comment and they like your stuff and it could be like the crappiest EB you've
I
ever
know,
done.
right? I know.
And then
And
they're like, oh
somebody's
my
gonna
goodness,
come
it's
pat you on the
so good.
back and like, go, Patty. Woo!
Yeah, awesome. So good. That was amazing. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. It wasn't that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what it was. I'm sure Tamika like laughs at me now because I literally said, who should I follow? So she did. She sent me like 4 or 5 people, I think like Kathy Jumps and things like that. And at that point, I was like, she thinks I'm absolutely crazy because I had no idea there were so many
Yeah.
people out there to follow.
I mean, I didn't at the beginning either. Like, of course, I saw Lauren and I saw Katie jumps and a few other people, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's just an ocean of people out there jumping all over the world, and it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I posted a video the other day, and within an hour, I had comments from 7 different countries.
Yeah.
You know, people
Yep.
all over the world like being supportive. It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Super
curious,
brave.
it didn't take you long to fall in love with jump rope. Once you started
Right.
doing it on the regular, how long did it take before you started realizing physical or mental benefits, and what benefits did you find?
Yeah. Yeah. So I told you I started like more of like a weight loss journey when I was
Uh-huh.
done nursing
With 3 kids.
and the kids are done and finally can focus on my body and myself and my mental health.
Mhm.
And when I first started working out, I lost like 40 pounds. And
Wow.
then it became just basically a routine. Like working out was a routine, doing weights was a routine, and then once I got on the jump rope, it was hard for me to balance it. I had a really hard time balancing, work. I separated the two. I separated workout and jump rope. I didn't
Oh,
consider
okay.
the jump rope my form of workout.
Right.
In my brain, it was all fun. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
So I actually switched my brain and decided I was going to put jump rope primary. I'm like, of course it's working out. It's cardio. It's muscle. I mean, my legs sometimes are so sore from,
Yeah.
jumping rope. And so I realized how much actual working out it was that I started doing it full time. And then now I do like maybe a weight training once a week or, whatever I can fit in, but jumping rope is
Uh-huh.
primary at this point. But,
Uh-huh.
um, so for me though, mental, the, the, I have, I don't know if I mean, my kids are young. I have, 8, 6, and 4. So they're super
Oh,
young
wow.
and my brain sometimes, um, can't really focus. So it just helps me clear. I realized that when I was not jumping or doing any workouts for those 4 weeks in September, after that was done, I was like, oh, this is not good. I just wasn't happy. I wasn't as happy as I was when I was jumping and working out. Sometimes I'll do 10 minutes, sometimes I'll do 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's just the cardio benefits and the
Uh-huh.
sort of mental help that it gives, Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bounce boost. You get out there and
Yeah.
bounce a little
Yeah.
bit, and all of a sudden
Yep. Yeah.
get a little
Right. So I'm
endorphin
not
rush or
really
whatever.
exactly. Yeah. I'm not really necessarily trying to lose weight or do anything, just kind of maintain what I've done. I lost the 40
Uh-huh.
pounds. Now I'm just maintaining.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's weird how I didn't really consider it necessarily working out. And even I
Uh-huh.
told you I was doing 5 weight training, so I would do jump rope on my rest day.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm like, oh no, I'm doing 30, 45-minute jumping. I'm exhausted. My legs are sore, my
Yeah.
calves are sore. So I'm like, no, that's definitely a full blown, full body workout.
Yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
workout, isn't it?
Yeah.
So mental health benefits, like
Hmm.
just you felt happier when
Yeah.
you
Felt
jumped
happier. Yep. I felt like I
and
could,
more focused.
yeah, more focused. I felt like I could get
Yeah.
through a 12-hour workday.
Yeah.
Um, better when I was able to work out, get the cardio, get my heart rate up. Um, first thing in the morning. I try to jump in the morning. It's hard now because it's so dark early in the morning.
Yeah.
Um, but I used to jump inside, so I would do it first thing in the morning. Um, and no, just getting my day going, like getting my brain functioning first thing. It's almost like drinking caffeine, like caffeine and jump rope.
Yeah.
Those two things are required
Yeah.
to
They're
continue
a
on
great
my day.
combo. I love them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you still jump primarily in the morning or at least when you're working?
So if I'm doing a longer session, which for me, longer sessions, like a long session would be like an hour. I
Uh-huh.
don't normally do an hour. I try to stick with around 30 minutes, 30,
Okay.
45 minutes. If I don't have time, but I still want to jump, I'll do a quick, like 10 minute, just like a workout. I'm not
Uh-huh.
filming. I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing a quick workout.
Uh-huh.
Um, but, um, but yes, I will do. So if I'm off, depending on my schedule, like if I'm off all day, then I'll probably do it like in the morning, but not super early, like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, have like an
Sure.
hour of time, and I have to
Right.
add in like getting the rope getting my mat out, getting my camera set up. I'm always filming, even if I don't like have anything to post. Because you
Yeah.
never know when you're gonna hit something,
Yeah.
and you want it on camera. So I always
Right.
film. So I always have my. I know my neighbors think I'm psycho. One of my neighbors actually posts on so much stuff. And
Really?
yeah, so I don't. You remember when we did the Halloween? Was it the Halloween? No, the New Year's. The New Year's.
Yeah.
And I wore the plastic bag.
Yes. The Target bag.
The Target bag. She was watching me. Like she had come home and in her because she's literally across like my driveway and then her driveway is right across. And so she had pulled in and I'm sitting here jumping in the Target bag and I just stopped. I'm probably gonna post that at some point because I have all of that on video. And I just start busting out. I'm like, I don't know. And oh, it just looks like a Target shirt. It's fine.
It's fine.
Like, here
That's
I am,
hilarious.
like doing my rope in my Target bag. And then my husband actually saw me. I didn't even tell him I was going to do the bag, but so I basically jumped like against my house. So the bathroom windows above where I jumped, and he's up there banging on the window. And I turn around and he was like, "What are you?" And I was like, "It's fine. Everything's fine." I wish I could have gotten him on video. Like, dude, what
My
are you
gosh.
doing in a freaking Target bag?
Right. Patty's becoming a Target vagrant.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna live in a bag now. That was
And
such
then
a
I
cool
had the
video
card.
because the
That was, yeah.
music was that. What's the name of the song? But do you ever feel like
Oh
you
gosh. Yes. Who
like
was
a
it? The
plastic
Katy
bag
Perry
drifting in the wind?
fireworks?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
you're right.
fireworks. Yeah,
Firework.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah,
had the deck of cards, which were if you look really closely, they're not actually cards. They're like a play, like one of my kids' cards. I was like, I need some cards. Someone
yeah.
find me cards. And he did, and it was like this like kids game. And so he sees me up there like throwing cards in the air with a plastic bat, and he's like, okay, she's gone completely psycho.
Yeah.
She's
My wife,
dumb.
the
We're done now.
pharmacist, is taking something. Yeah,
He's like, I don't even know. And then I finished, and then I came in. He's like, wow. I'm like, I
yeah.
had to do a bag. Becky said do a bag. I'm doing a bag.
Did he get to see the completed video?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I made him watch it. That
yeah.
was a cute video.
It was a cute video. Yeah.
Oh my
Those are
gosh.
the,
I
I
made
mean,
everyone watch that one.
yeah, that
Yeah,
Halloween and the New Year's
yeah,
collaborations,
the
I think,
Halloween
were
was
the,
cute.
and there was a Christmas one too, I guess. But those are the
Oh
first
yes,
collaboration things I've ever really done. But
yeah,
they're
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
and
They're a lot of fun.
I think Becky put a couple of them together, and she's
Yeah, she
really.
does. I think she's done them all. I did one. I did. Did I do Christmas?
I think you
I think I
did
did
New
Christmas.
Year's.
Or not
Did
New
you?
Year. No, she did New Year's. She did New
Okay.
Year's.
Did you do
I think I did
Christmas?
do Christmas. Whichever one she wasn't in, she
Yeah.
couldn't with the house and everything.
Right. Right.
Because I
Because I
made it
think
up
I
into
sent you a
two.
separate video because you did
Yeah.
two of them, and the first
Yep.
one,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was the only person facing away, so it looked like
It was
here.
Christmas because you had the suit. You had the elf thing on. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
Elfie
That was
selfie.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not great at things like that, but I was like, I'll take one for the team if Becky can't do it. But she's amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy what she can do with that.
Have you done any remixes of people or collaborations with just one other person where you're coordinating in some way?
I haven't done them myself. Becky did one with me. Like 2 weeks ago when I was doing like I just started doing the mix and I had done like a mix into a I get swing EB and EB swing, but it was a EB swing. EB swing? Yeah. So I was doing a mix into that. So she remixed me, which was super cool. I thought that was awesome. But I have a goal. I have a video of someone who actually trains with Eddie in house. Kelly, her name is Kelly. I think it's Kelly. Kelly Jumps. I can't remember what her handle
Okay.
is, but she has a video with Mick, and my goal is to be able to remix her in that video. That's one of my goals for this year because it's like,
That's so cool.
yeah, I've been doing them, but she does them like Mick trick, jump twice, Mick trick, and I'm over here like when I do my mix and then I do into a trick, it takes me like 15 basic bounces to like get my handles back where they should be. So I'm
Right.
jumping a lot in between. So to remix her, I've got to like shorten. I've got to be able to do back to back to back, like Aaron, he does like trick, 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 trick. Um, so that's my goal, but I would love to do that. I haven't done anybody else.
Yeah.
But Yeah, yeah.
When
Those
I
would be a lot of fun.
interviewed Janie, I think Janie was on like episode 2 or something like that. She was
Mhm.
talking about how within Instagram she will favorite videos and then put them in folders, or you can kind of organize them into
Yeah,
different
yeah,
buckets or whatever. And I
yep,
just thought that was great. So now I have one that's a remix one. So when I see something where I'm
yeah,
like, I think I'll be able to do that, or I really like that, I want to remix that, I put it in the
yeah,
remix
yeah.
folder. And so
I
far, I
need to do
haven't
that.
done any of them, but I've got
Right,
a few
right.
where I'm
It's
like, yeah,
very intimidating. And then you got like I have the hardest time for me is remembering. Like I have to write down because you got to have it like to the you got to have it
yeah,
like to the T to
yeah,
do it. And uh and so yeah, no, I'm like remembering routines is probably one of my very worst qualities.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I think it takes me longer, and I'm a tactile learner, so I can watch it, but until I can do it and experience it, I'm not going to retain it. And
Yeah, yeah,
my memory
exactly.
is not what it was when I was younger, I'm sure.
Same. I cannot
Yeah,
remember anything. Like my
yeah,
brain, like mom brain times 15 for sure. I'm like, no. Eddie gave us a routine to do like after we were all done with the program. And I did it. I had to tweak it though. And he's like, I don't care as long as you have, the tricks in there.
the
And
moves in there.
yeah, yeah. But it was like I cannot do, and he was like like with ease, like doing all 10 of them because we did
Yeah,
the 10 moves. And I was like, I can't even remember which one I'm supposed to do next. He's like, it doesn't
yeah,
matter. Just as long as you get them all in there. So I have a really hard time remembering anything.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to any jump rope meetups?
No, I have not. I don't even know if anyone around here jumps rope, honestly.
Yeah,
I know Sean's in Georgia, which isn't too far from me,
right.
but North Carolina, and I'm super close to South Carolina, but I have no
Yeah,
idea if anybody does any. Like, that'd
I
be cool
think.
if like Charlotte,
Yeah, I
or like,
think
I don't know,
Kelly
like,
is near George too.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they would be fun to learn from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be cool.
That's one of my
It would be
goals is
so
to go to
awesome.
a meetup this year.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
super cool. I feel like there's more like in the UK than I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are more in the United States. I have no idea.
I don't know. I had that same impression, and I think I said it
Yeah,
to Becky, and Becky was like, "Nah, there's not that much, you
yeah,
know."
yeah,
But one of the things that I noticed was several of the people that I talked to in the UK were exposed to or fell in love with jump rope or were reinforced with jump rope through these Cancer Research US or UK,
yeah,
fundraiser things like 100 skips a
yeah,
day kind of stuff, or
yeah.
those challenges. And at least, and they may be here in the US too. I just don't know about
Yeah,
them.
I have no idea. Right. Same
Yes.
thing. I don't know. Most of the people I follow, I think, are, overseas or in other countries. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe we should figure out make a list of everyone who we know that's in the United States and figure out who can set up a meet somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. There have been a few times where I've been chatting with people online, like Janie on the Jump, who's in the Chicago area, and I said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we should organize a meetup or whatever," and there were crickets on the other end of the text. Like, yeah, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, yeah. I would love
Yeah,
to
I
go. I don't think I would have the energy to like set it up, but I
organize.
would definitely
Yeah,
love to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So, what's next for you in jump rope? Like, what are some of your next goals?
Basically, just getting back into it. Because, like I said, September I took all of that month off, back into it October. It was really slow for me. The whole end of the year, I probably didn't really start jumping consistently until like right before Christmas. Um,
Okay.
so just getting back into like consistently jumping,
Uh-huh.
like basically learning different combos, like you know, focusing on what I do know, trying to strengthen those. I
Uh-huh.
think Richard had talked about that, like not
Yeah.
necessarily learning more, but tightening up the ones that I know. Yeah, yeah, tightening them up, maybe making some combos, maybe doing some remixes. Just kind of, I feel like this year for me is just going to be, let's just see what happens. Let's see what I can
Yeah.
do. I don't really
Cool.
necessarily have any specific thing that I want to do, but just
Yeah.
kind of getting more consistent. Now that I am jumping more consistently.
Uh-huh.
Um, and like I was saying, I had mentioned before, I didn't even know what to do. So when I did start Eddie's program, it kind of gave me a something to focus on. So that's what I'm doing now. Like each time I go out, I have a schedule of when I go out. And so anytime I go, I'm like, okay, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do today. Like
Okay.
if we're doing a collab, then okay, today's the day that I'm going to do, the Christmas jump and,
Right.
see what I can get with that. And I try not to rush myself when I'm jumping. So I just have one thing. Like if today I'm going to do mix, I'm going to do mix. Maybe I'm going to try mix with
Okay.
360. And sometimes I surprise myself and do more. But
Uh-huh.
usually it's like, let's focus on one thing and try and see if we can
Uh-huh.
get that. And
Yeah.
then if I have something to post, I have it. If I don't, I don't. But yeah,
Yeah.
just tightening up, I think.
Yeah. I'm totally with you there. And
Hmm.
that's another great reason to film yourself, is just to be able
Yeah.
to see how you can
Oh
tighten
gosh.
up.
Yep. Yeah. It's
What role
so
does
crazy to
music
look back.
play in your skipping?
So I cannot listen to music while I skip. It's I do those Saturday songs and
Uh-huh.
everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you jump right to the beat." But what happens is I listen to the song a couple times before I go out,
Yeah.
and I'll have my earbuds and I'll listen to it, or I'll listen to it while I'm setting up, and I'll get the beat in my head and
Yep.
basically just sing the song in my head while I'm jumping, or at least like maybe one part of the song over and over again in my head. And then
Uh-huh.
once I get the beat, I'll just skip to that beat. But I have tried jumping and I am so bad. I don't know. And like I even try to do it to like if my kids are outside with me, which a lot of times they are. I try to drown them out because they're loud and they get me unfocused. But
Yeah.
even jumping, trying to drown, I'd rather listen to them, I think, than the music. I don't know. I know I've heard so many people on your podcast, and I think you also,
Yeah. I'm
everyone
compulsive
jumps
about
to
it.
music. But I don't know what it is. It's like my brain needs to be quiet, I guess, even though like I'm
Yeah.
thinking in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. But you're not the first person who said that to me. Like I talked to someone earlier who said, yeah, it's like it engages their brain, whereas
Yeah.
me,
Yeah. I think it messes me up. Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. But so what I'll do though, like if I do make a reel, if I don't already have a song picked out, I will basically just pick out a song that matches my flow that I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
whatever
Like your
speed
beats per
I'm jumping
minute
at.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I just pick something I like that matches it.
Yeah.
I put that. That's why sometimes they'll do like similar songs over and over again.
Yeah. I've
But
done that
sometimes I
myself.
will hear a song. Yeah. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump to that song.
Yeah. One time I did, or I actually, this has happened a couple times where I've jumped to a song that I found on Spotify and I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to jump to the song and I have so much fun jumping to it. And then when I go to
Hmm.
post it on Instagram, that song is not available on Instagram. And
Yeah.
so, which sucks, especially when you're so
Yeah.
proud of what you've done,
I
right? Like
know.
I
Yeah.
totally
I
pulled it
know.
off. So,
It
so
sucks.
then I've done things like gone to like Chat GPT or AI and said, can you find me a
Yeah.
song that has the same beats per minute as, whatever
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
songs that I've listened to, and
Yeah.
then got some suggestions. But
Yeah. That's a good
yeah,
idea to do that.
there are
Yeah.
also times where I've just totally forgot what it was that I was jumping to.
Yeah.
Like I know I was listening to these 10 songs. I'm not sure which one that was. I'm going to just
Right.
put one in and see if it fits. And every once
See
in a
if it
while it
matches
does.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hard time finding music. Honestly, I'm like, a lot of stuff that I use on my reels, I actually listen to because I know the songs. 'Cause otherwise, I have no idea. Like, unless it tells me, you know,
Yeah.
trending. I don't usually use trending songs, but my
Yeah.
kids, I did that jump where I did. It was like the troll, like from the movie Trolls. It was like it was like the Backstreet Boys or whatever. And the only reason why I jumped to it is because my daughter's obsessed and we were listening to it on the way home. And it was like one of those where it starts out real slow and then it speeds up.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that'd be fun to like
Yeah.
start slow and then,
Yeah.
increase my speed on my jumping. I was like, I'll try that. So that's the only time I actually did listen to the song while I was jumping
Okay.
because
Because
I needed to go
yeah,
away. Yeah,
it
it
shifts
changes
gears in the
the
middle.
rhythm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's fun.
Hmm.
So one other question I have for you is, what advice do you have for somebody who might be, in your shoes thinking like, I do some weight training or I do some other stuff. I'm interested in health,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure that jump rope is for me. What do you tell somebody like that?
Yeah, so I would say just try it. See,
Uh-huh.
because I was the same way, and I was super clumsy, and a lot of the weight training videos, I follow. or was for probably 2 years. I did a girl, her name is Sydney Cummings. She's actually out of Charlotte, which I didn't realize when I started doing her that she was
Oh,
super close. And so I basically did her programs over and over again. She would do a new program every month, but she actually did jump rope in her workout. Um, so it kind of got me kind of doing it every year,
exposed to
here
it.
and there. Yeah, exposing to it. I would just say try it out. See if you need a cardio option, running. I used to run, not great for, your shins and your feet and your legs and everything. But if you want something cardio, try it out. It's so easy and it's so much fun.
Mhm.
And then you
It
can
is
do it
so
anywhere. Like
fun.
literally walk outside. Yeah, walk
Mhm.
outside onto my driveway
Yeah.
and you don't have to go to the gym. You can if you want to, if that's what you want
Right?
to do, but you don't have to, and it's not expensive at all. Buy one
Yeah.
rope, two ropes.
I know.
Yeah,
It's less than the cost of a gym membership for a month. You can get a
yeah,
couple
for sure.
ropes
Yeah,
and yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah,
I did that
yeah,
this morning where I just put a rope in my pocket and walked to the park and then whipped it out and was like, all right, here I
yep,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
So
want to
fun.
tell, like, there's one of my friends is like starting out jumping rope now, and my brother actually jump rope too. He did Eddie did like a 7-day program
Oh, cool.
end of last year. Yeah. So he did that. So I'm trying to get him into it too. But I want to like tell them like just join the community, make your Instagram public and join it because just even if you didn't even jump rope all the time, once a week, twice a week, just being in the
Right?
community is so awesome. Um,
Yes.
you know, just for that, I'm always like just do it and post something, one thing, and then just watch what happens because
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing, isn't it? I'm just so
Yeah.
thankful for the community. Like the amount of
Yeah.
support and love I've got from people
Right.
is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
mind-boggling. And the breadth of connections. Like
Yeah.
so, from Australia to Africa, all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
really
realize
uplifting.
I didn't realize PETA was from
Down
Australia.
under. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, because like I said, she's on the Saturday, I met her through the Saturday Songs group
Uh-huh.
and I had no idea where anybody, it's funny though, because I should have paid attention because we have flags like next to our name, but I've
Yeah.
really not even looked at any.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen like a couple here or there, but yeah, no, it's so crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well,
There's,
Patty, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. This has
yeah,
been so much fun, and I really appreciate your support on Instagram. I love watching you and
thank you.
Artemis.
Yeah. Like I said, watch out for Valentine's Day. She's in it at the
That's
very
great.
end. So yeah, yeah, she
Somebody
loves it.
sent me a video of like how to train your dog to jump rope, and my dog is
Oh
13
my,
pounds. She's smaller, and I think it would be so fun to get her to jump rope with me.
how
But
funny. That would be,
yeah,
I might have to look into that.
but
That would be interesting.
she's probably almost as
Could
tall
be.
as you are if she stands
She
up.
is. I think she's actually taller than me when she stands up. Is she 85? I get confused if she's 75 or 85. If my husband was in the room, he would tell me. I think she's
Yeah,
85 pounds, but she's um she's mad. There's some of those videos that you've seen where she jumped up onto me.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's
yeah.
stretched
She's
out.
a head higher than you are. Yeah, yeah. She's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
gorgeous.
I have to figure that out. That'd be cool. I've seen the dogs like do the treadmill,
Yeah,
train them to do that. Yeah. She's probably scared though, because I've hit her so many times with my I don't know if she
yeah.
would do
She'll
it. She's
react
probably
like my
scared.
dog Zuzu, where
Yeah,
as soon as I break
yeah,
out the jump rope, I am out of here.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you need to
But
keep
no,
her
thank
around
you so
because she's
much.
obviously a
Yeah.
fantastic protector and
Oh
she
yeah.
loves her
Yeah, she
mama.
loves it. Yep. Yeah, for sure. But no, thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun to jump on
Yeah,
and talk.
absolutely. Well, my pleasure, and I'm sure we will do this again.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging with me on the Jump Rope Podcast. I really appreciate your support. You can help us by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts, giving us a good rating, posting a comment, and telling your friends. Thank you so much.